once again welcome to Farming in Africa, and as usual my name is Fred. Today I'm going to share with you one of the most important things every livestock farmer needs to know, whether you're in Africa or anywhere in the world, and that is talking about feeding. Feeding or nutrition is a huge component to the success of your livestock farming. And today I want to share with you the secret and some experimenting that have been done over the years on how we feed our goats, the nutrients you need, the kind of feed that you need. So come along with me, let's go to the board and let me take you guys step by step through ingredients, formulas, and type of feed that you need for your livestock farm. Come along and let's go. So as I said, today I'm going to walk you through one of the most important things that you need as a livestock farmer to succeed. And this is information I bet you're not going to find anywhere online. But I have spent time and years experimenting with something, a secret sauce that I'm ready to share with you guys for free. So you know what? Take your pen and book, because I promise you, you're going to enjoy this video. So when it comes to livestock farming, succeeding, there are three components that I look at. Number one is your nutrition, right? Number two is animal health, right? And number three is what? Number three is your management. So management. These are the three most important things. I guess you guys with management, that has to do with your staff, how well you train, skill set. Two, medication. You know, how do you treat your animals? They're just like human beings, so they're gonna get sick and so on. Number one, which is what I'm going to focus on today, is nutrition. It's basically feeding. How do you feed your livestock, right? And these are the three things. So what do we do at Cenia Farms? And that's what I'm going to focus on today. Many people have different ways of planning their feed and how they feed their animals. I'm going to talk to you about what we have been doing over the years, the lessons we've learned, and so on. So we feed our animals with two things. So number one, we feed them with the Cenia Grass, which you all know, originated from Uganda, bringing it back to the continent of Africa. And then number two, we feed them with Pallet Feed. Right, so I know most of you have purchased some of the Cenia Grass from us. If you're new to this channel, then the Cenia Grass is basically a natural grass that I am bringing back from Mexico and Brazil to the continent of Africa. It was taken from Uganda and now I'm bringing it back, right? And this grass has 18% protein and it's also drought resistant. That means that if you plant this grass, even in the dry season, it does not die. The way this grass works is we have the seed. So you put it on the ground, direct planting or nursing, it grows in about 6 to 8 weeks. You harvest it, or your animal can graze directly on it. Once you harvest it, you leave it again for about 6 weeks, it grows back again. You do this cycle continuously for about 10 years till you have to replant it again. So that means if you buy the seed now and you plant it, you have feed for the rest of your animal life cycle, which is mostly not more than 10 years, right? So if you haven't gotten some, contact us on the WhatsApp number. You can get your grass. We are in the rainy season. This is the time to plant it so that in the dry season, you have feed for your livestock. So this is the two main feed that we feed our animal. Let me give you a bit of a schedule. So what do we do? People ask, Fred, do you feed your animal only with Cenia Grass? The answer is no. So we have a schedule. So we have morning feed, and then we have afternoon, then we do night. You can call it dinner, or we call it night. So what do we feed them in the morning? So in the morning, we feed them with pallet. That is this feed. In the afternoon, we send them outside to our grazing yard where we've planted the Cenia Grass, where now they are grazing, right? So they graze in the afternoon. And then at night, we have some of the Cenia Grass dried and stored as hay. So at night, by 6 o'clock, they are all back from grazing, and then we feed them with hay. So during the hay, everybody will be eating. You know, if you have light at your pen, go to eat till they are full. So you see them, you know, still chewing. You know, they are ruminants. So, you know, if they store food and they bring it out and they chew. So they are always eating. So morning pallet, afternoon grazing on Cenia grass, evening dry hay, right? So this is very important. Now let's come back and break them into details. I told you guys you would like this video. This is a secret that I'm sharing to you guys for free. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, go ahead and subscribe. That is the only motivation we get from you guys, and know that the information we are giving to you guys, you are really enjoying it. But these details that I'm sharing to you, I know it's going to help a lot of you. It had cost me so much to be able to get to where I've gotten to, right? So now we're going to go into more details. Before the pallet, so with the grass, right, you can feed any amount, but goats eat 3 to 4% of their body weight. And that's why it's very important, if you're doing serious farming, to have a scale at your farm, right? So we weigh our goats every 2 weeks. We disinfect, we weigh, and sometimes we deworm, depending on the season, right? So every 2 weeks we weigh them. Have a scale at your farm, because it will tell you the amount of feed you need to give to them, right? So our bull goats, we give them about 1 kg on an average. Let's say 1 kg of food is what they are supposed to eat every single day, right? Wait, how do we make sure they get this 1 kg? So in terms of feeding, again, you have to group your livestock. So how we have done it is we have male, right? We have lactating. So lactating is the moms that are breastfeeding and kids that are breastfeeding as well. And then we have kids. And those are children that we've weaned. So, you know, anywhere between 3 months to 6 months, we're calling them weaning kids, right? So we have the males, we have the lactating, we have the kids, and then most importantly, we have the pregnant. So these are the pregnant goats. So, as I said, a goat needs to eat, on an average, our goats needs to eat 1 kg of feed. Inside that 1 kg, we are giving them pallets, we are giving them grazing field, we are giving them hay. Mostly I don't count the hay as part of my 1 kg, it's a bonus. But I'm hoping that with this, they will be able to get maybe about 20%, right, of feed from here, and then they will get the 80% from the pallet. What does that mean? That means that I always have to calculate, right, about 800 grams of feed per goat. Now, let's talk about this 800 grams of pallet. What needs to be in that pallet? And that's where it gets tricky. What are they getting from here? So the grass here is giving them protein. If they do green, they are not getting all the 18%. Don't forget, the grass can maximize its protein when it's dry. So if they are eating, grazing here, they are not getting about 18%. Maybe they are getting 15%, depending on the quality of your feed as well. Then in this pallets, but here what they are getting is basically just protein, just forage, right? This is where the minerals are. This is where the nutrients are. So now let's go into the pallet feed. So in the pallet feed, what are your components? So you can decide to have, number 1, corn for fiber, right? Number 2, you can have your grass in there for protein. So you can do your Cenia grass, or you can add some soya if you want to be fancy and expensive. Number 3, you can add your wheat bran. So wheat bran is basically what we give to pigs, what we give to poultry, right? And then number 4, you need to add salt, right? And then number 5, you need to add a mineral. Why is my spelling not working today? So you need to add a mineral mix. Number 6, you need to add vitamins. So this is the component you need to make this pallet. At my farm, so I'm doing both. So they're grazing, they are also doing pallet. But some of you don't have the grazing field, so you're only keeping them inside and feeding them pallets. When this is what you're doing, this formula is very important for you. The reason why it's important is because you have, fenced, or what is the word I'm looking for? Kept them in a place where they are not grazing to find the nutrients they need. It's your responsibility to provide them all the minerals and essentials they need to be able to grow. So somebody will say, oh, my goats doesn't get pregnant. Oh, they are getting abortion. Oh, the kids are dying. It's deficiency. If they don't have iron, if they don't have copper, if they don't have selenium, if they don't have phosphorus, potassium, they are not going to survive. And that is why most of you that keep your goats inside and they are not having enough choices of plants to graze, they die or they don't grow well. Because they're just like you and I. They need minerals, they need vitamins, they need salt. What do we get from salt? Iron. They need protein, they need energy, they need fiber. So you need to treat that well, right? So this is the component we add to make our pallets feed and feed with them, right? Great. So minerals you can get, I don't know where you are, you can get from Ghana. So we import our minerals, we import all our vitamins to make sure that they all contain the right vitamins. And I have a guy who actually mixes our mineral mix for me so that it has all the components that I need for the animal to have all the minerals they need, right? Rice bran, you can get it locally. Corn, you can get it locally. Your grass or soya, you can get it if you buy the seed and plant it yourself. So now your question is, what percentage of these different minerals do I need to mix together to be able to feed males, to be able to feed lactating moms, to be able to feed kids, and to be able to feed pregnant goats? And that is the secret, right? You can have all these ingredients, but how do you get 100% of these ingredients, right? So every stage has its own way of feeding them, depending on you. It varies from person to person. I'm happy to share mine with you. I don't want to go into detail all this. It will take us hours to finish, but schedule a one-on-one with me. I will share what we do for every stage of the animal's growth, even depending on how big you want them to get, especially your male. Your kids, what kilogram are you hoping to achieve by the end of 6 months? That will depend on the ratios you give to this. At the end of the day, you want to have 100%. So do you want to start with 35% corn and do 25% grass and do 10% wheat brown or rice brown, and then do 1% salt? And then with your minerals you're doing, depending on the size of feed you're doing, maybe if you're doing 1 ton of feed, you have to use maybe 0.5 kg of minerals. Then you have to use maybe 1 kg of vitamins, depending on the size. So it's a little bit detailed. Contact us. I can sit down with you, understand what you're trying to achieve, and formulate a formula for you that you can use to feed your goats. If I decide to give you any formula, depending on what your plan is, are you doing fattening? Are you breeding? Are you giving it to kids? Are you giving it to pregnant? Are you giving it to lactating? Are you giving it to male? It's all different. But this will also help you to understand your costs, right? So if you're going to sell a dwarf goat of $50, then you want to make sure that your percentage here, you're probably giving them more energy, more grass than you're giving them corn. Corn is very expensive. So again, you need the economics to drive these percentages. So I know how much I spend on each goat per day because I buy these ingredients. I know how much I'm feeding them, which is 3 to 4%, which is mostly 1 kg. So I know how much I'm spending per each goat per day. I multiply that by 30. It gives me how much I'm spending per goat per month on feed. Then I can come to health. How much medication have I given? Then I can add management. And now I know my costs of rearing these goats, and then I can determine my price. So tomorrow if you come to my farm and I quote you a price, yeah, you can decide to say it's expensive, but that's what quality brings, especially if you're a breeder and you want to buy goats that you can actually take to your farm and survive. You need goats that have been taken proper care of, right, that can survive. So basically, this is how we do our feeding at Cenia Farm. So this is just what we need to make your pallet feed. In my next video, I'll be taking you guys through how we actually mix these feed components individually, turn them into pallets, and really walk you guys into it. If you want to make the pallet yourself, we have the pallet machine at our store as well. You can contact us, and you can get your own pallet machine. We will help you with the formulas, and you'll be able to create your pallets. If you don't have money to afford it, I will be selling the pallet sometime soon. I'm still testing a lot because I want to be able to bring the price down. You see the components here. Now maize is about 750 Ghana cedis, right? That's too expensive. So I'm trying to work out the formula very well so that you can have a concentrate. Even if you're doing random grazing, you can have it at home. When they come home in the evening to sleep, you feed them with pallets. We don't have in stock yet. I'm still experimenting. I've been feeding my goat for the past 4 months just on pallets and hay, without them grazing outside, right? Just to test. So every 2 weeks I weigh them. I try a different formula. I weigh them and I see their growth. Then I change it. So I've been gathering a lot of data on which formula is the best. So once we are ready, we'll bring it out and you guys can have access to the formula and the pallet feed here at the Agro Store. But for now, this is what I want to share with you. Write in your comment below. Let me know if this is helpful or not. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in another video where I'm going to actually break down all the ingredients and show you guys how we actually do our pallet. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next video.
I know it hurts. Something deep inside won't let me quit. I swear that